Welcome to Knowing Who You Are for our Sunday live stream. I hope everyone is having a great day today. With me, we have Esther.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ershad.
So, it's really nice to see people have already joined when we had started the live stream. And already I had received a message from Russell Hawk who said hello, and hello to Russell Hawk. So people who are joining now, it's Knowing Who You Are, the podcast. You listen to, you watch on YouTube. That's the channel as well, Knowing Who You Are. And every Monday we have new podcast where I have a chat with probably life coaches, specialists, and people who are highly productive and try to understand how they have become successful in their lives and what are their routines and what are their failures and things they have overcome in their life and their struggles. And that's what we talk about. But the live stream is more about you. So everyone who's watching it now, it's about your conversation with us and among ourselves. At the same time, where you share your own struggles, your own journey, your own experiences, and also how you have overcome any struggles that you have in your life. So that's our own platform, and this is where we join. That's our own community we are trying to build, and everyone is really giving really good responses, and it's really inspirational for us as well and very inspiring. So we get really inspired every Sunday to do this live stream and bring this live stream to you. And Esther can shed some light on that too. What do you think of the Sunday live stream and the vibe we get out of that?
Oh, it's good. Always at the end of the show, especially when we then, have some dinner and we talk about all the people that called in. And it's really nice to have specifically the interaction from people and hearing the real life stories. And every week it's been new people. We have some people that are, are hardcore, always with us. And then we have some who've been listening and call in for the first time. And yeah, it's been an exciting adventure so far.
Yeah, so far so good. And we hope to keep it going for all times to come. How long is possible? And probably there'll be iterations where things would be transformed to a different platform, and how we interact, how we do things. It'll be different, but end of the day, it would always be the same. It'll be the community, and I hope the community will grow bigger. People would be more equipped to help themselves and help each other. And this is the idea, because there's no hidden agenda so far as you know.
No.
It's just for us as well. When we get to hear your stories and share our stories as well, it's a talk amongst each other. It helps sometimes because there are a lot of negative talks. Most of the time people get together where probably we end up talking about someone else and end up talking about the bad things that happen in our lives. Even though there are a lot of good things that's happening at the same time, we don't see that. But when we talk with a positive mindset, I think that's what helps. And that's what we are trying to make people aware of. And that helps us too. So that's the only agenda we have. So through this conversation, we get to look at things with a better light. And that's what Knowing Who You Are is all about. And people who are joining, you are our inspiration. And all the time we get the inspiration through your conversation and the achievements and the highlights of your days, of your weekends, and everything that you share through your videos, comments, and also through live phone calls. As you know, you can call us live very soon. I'll put the number as well, the studio number. So anyone who's interested, you can give us a call straight away on the live show. You can be on the studio, and hundreds and thousands of people who later on log in and check and all the views we have, and they can listen to you. So it's always there, and it's there on YouTube land and also on social media. Forever until they decide, if ever it happens, to close YouTube or the social media or Facebook or anything. But until then, it's there. But good news is that we have a page as well, a website, knowingwhoyouare.blog. So no matter what happens to YouTube, I think, because it's a link from YouTube anyway, if anything happens to YouTube. But you should check the website, knowingwhoyouare.blog, because we have other materials as well. There are a lot of interesting things like poetries and inspirational conversation and literature. There are a lot of, but we want to add more to that because already managing 2 podcasts. We have another podcast, E&E in Harmony.
Yeah.
That's about English lessons, which we are trying to
E&E.
provide. Yeah, E&E.
E&E
So
in English.
Ershad, Esther, Ershad. So that's what we are trying to provide through E&E in Harmony. You should check that too. And supporting, you can always support us through liking and subscribing, as always everyone says. So because that's an inspirational thing, and that helps us know that people are liking the content, and there is something that you want to add to that, you can always tell us. So people who are joining, commenting already, I had a message, as I was saying, from Russell Hawk. Yeah, I can see him. So thanks to Russell Hawk for his message, and hello to you too. So is anyone who would like to join now? Let me check one thing if I can. Yeah. Oops.
We're just doing our technical checklist here.
Yeah. So all good now. So people can call us live as well if you want, and the number would be on screen for you now. So it's the studio number. You can call us directly if you're in the UK, just using your mobile or your landline, however is you prefer to call us, you can do that. Or if you're calling or you're checking from any other part of the world, you can use WhatsApp. So that's the number, 00447. For WhatsApp, 0044. Without the 0, you write 7308192908. And I can see already people are joining in. So welcome
nice.
to Knowing Who You Are Sunday live stream. And you can join in the conversation. So today we are going to talk about, because this is a thing that keeps on coming in the conversation that I had with people so far, even this week. Like tonight at midnight, you have a new episode of Knowing Who You Are coming up. And I had spoken to a young life coach from Denmark. So the conversation I had, again, we talked about fear, because most of the things, the anxiety and the stress we feel, and even the anxiety disorder, because they say it was according to the World Health Organization that 40 million people age of 18, they normally suffer from anxiety disorder. So one of the reason is fear. The fear is common. I keep on repeating, and you probably have learned the term as well, fear of rejection. That is very important, because back in the days, we talked about this one when people used to live in communities for hunter-gatherers, especially and you couldn't hunt on yourself, so you need a group of people. So people were always scared that what happens if my community just suddenly pushes me away and just send me in exile, and they don't want me anymore. So people were always just very anxious, and that was their main fear, the fear of rejection. So on that, from the point of view, we still have that genetically. It's a primordial fear. It's a long time ago, but still we have that. And it's the same programming that we use to boost our self-esteem and our self-worth, even though these two are different things. And self-esteem is more about what you have, your achievements, your successes, and what new items you have bought, or what new car you're driving, or what big house you have. That's more about your self-esteem. But the self-worth is something which comes with you the day you're born and as a human being. So that's the difference between these two. Your self-esteem can come and go, there will be ups and downs, but the self-worth, once you realize that you own it, it's part of your life, and just by being alive and being yourself, you have that. The moment you gain the freedom, and slowly you can overcome the fear, even though the fear cannot be removed, but it can be replaced with positive experiences. So say, for example, someone is scared of speaking on a stage, performing on a stage, and you might have the fear. Like I perform on stage, I still have the fear sometimes, but I always replace it with a good performance. I try to do a good performance, and when I come out of that, and if I'm happy, the audience are happy, I'm happy, and this is a positive performance. So next time, if I feel that fear, it's a sign of respect as well towards your audience, that you respect your people, the listeners and the audience, that you're a little scared whether you'll be able to perform to the best of your ability and at the same time up to their expectation. So that's a good thing, but you can always replace your fear with positive experiences.
Yeah, makes sense.
So on that note, we have
We have, oh, wow, look at that. Marie, hi Marie, welcome. Good that you're listening with us today.
Yeah.
We saw the lovely video of your daughter in the arcade the other day. It was very nice.
Yeah, and she's in Belgium.
Yeah, very happy child. Wonderful little girl.
Yeah, I think Marie should go and check on YouTube when after the live stream, not now. You should check that one. It's I had interviewed a life coach from Belgium.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, so you should check that one out.
Very nice,
You can relate to that.
Yeah.
A lot of things he said and his life. He's very interesting. He lives in a van, and that's where he does all his practice, and he made this purpose-built van so he can live there even during winter. So you should check that.
Amazing, actually.
It's one of your own from Belgium. So Mari's there, we have Rasulok, and there are a lot of people, other people are joining.
Nice.
So as you know, the number is there. Anyone who would like to give us a call, join in the conversation. So we are talking about fear. And I'm going to discuss my fear as well, the fear we find. Good to see you too, Mohammad Rizwanur Rahman. Rizwanur Rahman is from Dhaka. He's a very good artist.
Great.
So I've known him for a long time, and he was doing a master's at the uni. I had done my master's in law, but ever since I haven't seen him for a long time because he's in Bangladesh. But we are always in touch, and very good artist. So
yeah, you showed me some of his paintings. I remember that.
so probably
Great.
it's a good opportunity for Rizwanur Rahman to pick up his phone
And call us.
and call us, have a live discussion. How about that? And get to know what you're doing, what you're up to now, what's the masterpiece you're creating at the moment.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. So people who are joining now, we are talking about fear. So let's talk about what is our fear at the moment, what has been our fear, or if there had been a fear that you have overcome and now you have replaced it with some positive experience, that fear doesn't matter anymore and you're not scared of that particular thing anymore. Anything. It could be height, it could be trying new things, it could be public speaking, it could be performing on stage. Because I went to a performance workshop yesterday in London, and what happened, our performance was at a different time. Oh, interesting thing, my whole place is shaking because someone outside, because it's Sunday and they're probably driving with all the speakers blaring. Yeah, so that's literally shaking our whole place.
So if you hear additional music, that's the neighbors.
Or shaking. So yeah, what I was saying, on the performance workshop, before I saw there are a few people who are interested in talking about themselves or reciting poems or poetry or anything, but they were talking how scared they were being on stage. So that was the fear, and they're saying that they are feeling quite normal. They feel okay. Some people are saying they're still a little bit scared of the whole prospect of being on stage performing and putting your voice or projecting your voice through a mic. Many people, when they get to hear straight away, when some people I've seen that when they start singing, they say the first line or sing a first line. When they hear it's coming back through the speakers, they're like, oh my God, what just happened?
I did it once. I have that fear.
Yeah?
And once I started singing for the first time, I thought, I'm going to try it. And it was a show that was, like an open mic. And my first sentence through the microphone, booming it through the place, it was too much. I was like, I can't do it.
No, it's a scary prospect. I mean, every now and then I've been through it during my live TV days whenever I do a live show. Before that, we do some sound checks and rehearsals here and there. The first song when you open, because every week I had to sing new songs, so every song is newly prepared most of the time. So you're a bit conscious. So the moment I have to sing the first line, I'll be like, oh my God, I have to hear if it's delivered properly. So Rizwanur Rahman is saying, check your inbox, some works are there. I'm going to exhibit on coming February. Cheers.
Oh, he sent some messages.
Oh, great.
Okay, well, look at that.
Lovely pictures. I see that. I can share them.
Stunning.
I have to go through some process to share that, but I'd love to do that probably in between the show if I find some time Esther can keep us busy. I'll do the technical side of things, and suddenly it would pop it up. Yeah, talking about fear.
Hoping that I don't turn anything
But
off while we're at it.
Rezvanu Rahman, you're always welcome to give us a call
call us
on the
and
live
talk
show.
Talk about your show
and
as well.
talk about your show.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So you have an exhibition coming up on, it's in February. No dates yet, but yeah, people who are watching from Bangladesh as well, they would get to know. One of my friends, by the way, he's an architect from Buet, and he's quite established architect, interior designer, but he has done a very nice exhibition. You have seen his work. One of my friends in Dhaka as well.
Okay.
So he has done his exhibition, amazing, huge painting. So yeah, I'm very proud of these people, these friends in my life,
Nice.
and which includes him too.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So, and thanks for the support on
Yes,
top of that,
thank you very
Mohammed
much.
Rizwan Rahman. So we'd like to support you at the same time. So you talk about your exhibition. That's the platform people are joining in and they can hear you.
Yeah.
So let us know, at least if you're scared of talking about your fear, let us know, at least in the comment. Let's see where you are from. Everyone. Yeah, let's see. Selena. Okay. Hi, Ershad and Esther. I've been meaning to listen in on this session. Glad I could tonight.
Nice,
Great,
great.
Selena. Selena is part of the British bilingual poetry collective.
Oh, nice.
So she's a poet, amazing poetry. She writes very well. She performed on one of the performances I've done last month at Queen Mary.
And it's such a shame because the 2 times when there's been a chance for me to come and see you all, I was at work and it was impossible to come.
Yeah.
And then again on Sunday the 16th, when you guys, is Sunday the 16th or Saturday the 16th?
It was Saturday probably.
It's on the 16th anyway.
Sunday won't be,
No,
probably.
no.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm really sorry, but we will make it happen at some point. But as you can see, I do exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also been people have said that accused of that Ershad, are you hiding her? I said, well, I don't have to. I can't. She's now.
How can you hide a 5'11" noisy Dutch person?
Noisy. So Selena, what you can do now?
Yeah, call
You can
in.
give us a call back because we are talking about fear today. And she performed on stage, and we've been talking about performance aspects of things, how you can deliver and things like that. Because she writes amazing poetry, but how performing on stage, what do you feel like? And apart from that, if there's any other fear that you have in your life, we discuss about that, then we'll share our fear with you. And let's see if we can find some remedy for that. So, Selena, if you are still there, I hope you are there. You can give us a call, and you just have to dial the number directly since you're in London. And people who are watching from all around the world, any part of the world, first of all, where I was at, I was saying, at least in your comment, write down where you are from. So we know Syra is from London. We know Selena is from London. And Syra, hi. Syra made it. So she's not going to any gigs tonight. So she is here with us.
Yeah, and we have Marie from Belgium, and we have the other gentleman from Dhaka. So that's good. That's already 3 time zones we have right now. 4 time
But still,
zones
we have quite a
right
lot
now.
of other people who are not writing,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah,
watching it. So if they let us know where you're from, I promise I'll try to keep it anonymous, but it will show anyways, right? The names.
You know, I was going to say something. I used to have a fear of remembering things.
Okay.
It was, it would seem really minor, but I remember as a young kid, I was in school. And I had to, we all had a number in the class, and we all had to remember it, and then we had to say it. And the problem is, my number was 111, which at the time, being like 5 years old, I couldn't even count to 111. I didn't even know what it was. And I remember it sounded like 111 in Dutch.
Okay.
So it was like 111. So I just remembered the sound of it. I had no idea what I was saying. And it came to me, Esther, like, 111.
Okay. Because you were scared, that's why.
I was scared that I knew I wouldn't remember it, but I remembered the sound of it, so I basically just said it.
So what else are you afraid of, or what are your fears now?
Not having enough time in this lifetime to do everything I want to do. That's actually the only
That's
thing.
a very good one.
It's because sometimes I go into a panic of, and I need to do this, I need to do that, I want to do that, I want to do this, and then I don't end up doing any of them because I'm in a state of whatever. I had that a while back. It's not like that anymore.
It's a very
so
interesting
much.
point, because I have that fear as well, but I think I have learned to cope because I've been working on these things, and I've learned to cope that you really can't do everything.
No.
Probably if you were born in the 1800s, 19th century or the 20th century, probably things were a bit simpler. But now there's so many things to do, so much information going around. I mean, there are 16 hours of content on YouTube. You can just keep on watching all day. 16 hours gone. I mean, I think even more than that. So it can keep going. So I'm scared of not being able to do everything, but now I have kind of controlled that fear. But one thing, I want to know more. So that's why you see I have like 16 books at the moment.
That's
I'm
just
reading.
in the living room. In the bedroom, there's another 5 next to the thing. Over here, you have God knows how many.
Yeah, there's like, but it's
Soon
all
they're gonna be in the
bookmarked.
bathroom as well.
So every day waking up,
Kitchen.
I sit down and there are books which I read before going to bed. There are books I wake up and read them because I feel like I need to know so many things. It's a limited lifetime, and that's one of my things as well. So that's one of my fears, whether I'll be able to do that. But however much I end up doing, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
That's the main goal.
Yeah.
By the way, Mohammad Rizwanur Rahman, he made a very interesting comment. He said during the pandemic, people were very much afraid about their life. Life was so frustrated, and I captured all this movement through my works, or all those moments through his works. Hope you too also can arrange some programs. There, I'm from Dhaka. Yeah, he's from Dhaka.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
So he literally conformed with what we had wanted him to do, or everyone else to do, to write down where they're from. So he's from Dhaka. We already knew. That's really sweet. And it's true. I was very scared initially when the pandemic happened that I would die. I mentioned a few times during the live stream that I literally thought, okay,
So sweet.
if everyone else is dying, who am I? I'm not Superman, so I'll die. Man is mortal, right? But yeah, somehow I'm still alive. But
He had even made plans of what should happen with his guitars and what should happen with everything in case something bad would happen. So bad.
like Selena is saying, I'm here, fear of opening up now, in front of you all. Hey. Honestly speaking, I think a personal big fear right now is letting go. Let's talk about it. That's my favorite subject, by the way, letting go.
It is his
I always
favorite
talk about it.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about what are you afraid of letting go. Let's talk about that. Selena, give us a call. First fear would be gone. It's about opening up. I'll open up. She will open up. I mean, within the boundaries. So also we'll push you within the boundary. I mean, we won't, anything you're uncomfortable talking about, you don't have to. But the main thing is, the idea of letting go is a very important topic. And I think the moment you reach that point when you're not scared of letting go, it could be things in your life, ideas in your life, people in your life. A lot of things can happen because people end up staying in toxic relationship as well because of the fear of letting go. They're like, okay, I'm familiar with that person. Okay, we had some good moments, but you have to understand sometimes your bad moments, they outweigh the good moments. Yeah. Then you have to think about, if my bad moments are here, my good moments are there. But the moment you're thinking how long you'll just put up with that toxicity, then every time people have this tendency of going to the familiarity and try to remember all the good times. But when the good times are just numbered and the bad times are weighing you down day after day after day, that's the time when you have to learn to let go. I'm just giving you one example.
Yeah. And I think there's a good example also from the time when, you've very much gotten into the viewpoint of letting go of material objects. Now, it doesn't mean that, you have to have nothing. I mean, look around what we have right here. This is not, this is our choosing to live this way. But, for example, when our bikes were stolen, then, I saw Sarah just mention, we'll talk to her in a sec. But when the bikes were stolen, you basically said to me, look, they're just bikes. We are in good health. We have a roof over our head. We have food on the table. We have a good life. We will get another bike. And I couldn't get into that frame of mind. It was just because it
we should share the story. What happened?
Yeah, oh my God.
We go to the gym swimming together.
Yeah.
So it happens for me probably 5 days a week. For you,
me, a little bit less.
Yeah, a little bit less, but we do it together when we go together. So one day we spent really amazing time in the swimming for literally 2 hours probably. Then I stayed at the gym But then when we came out, suddenly she looked around and she was like, where are our bikes? And I couldn't believe for a while. Then 2 of our bikes straight away was stolen.
Yeah.
And her bike was custom made. Her dad had put some things, and she had
I'd had it for 16 years.
16 years. You
Used
traveled
special
through 2,000 miles?
Yeah.
2,000 miles with that bike. So
Across
she had
Europe.
some personal attachment.
Attachment to it.
So it was more about the attachment than the value of the material value
Yeah.
of that bike. So she was really sad. The moment I thought, okay, I lost it, it's gone, I said, okay, it's gone. People die. Because this is a funny thing that happened. I used to collect guitars. That was one of my things for a long, long time. And at some point I realized, okay, I'm not even touching those guitars, playing those guitars. What am I doing? It's a waste of space. And on top of that, there are people who don't even have one decent guitar. And I was feeling guilty. And I started selling them, exchanging, reducing. The first time I did that, I was really sad because every one of them like my children. But then I told myself, people die. We lose people. These are materials.
Yeah.
So that's one of my ways of letting go. Every time I think that's one way of things when I lose them. And the thing is, not everything. There's another measure I have. Say you have a lot of things, you have a lot of clutters, things hiding, you're stashing up things in your house. There are many things that I haven't taken them out of the store. So I realize if my life is okay without them, so it means that I can live without them. So it's time to give them away.
Yeah.
So we have a few comment interesting. I should read them probably. Syra says, so Syra, we were talking about fear, but then Selena added that she has another fear, which is the idea of letting go, the fear of letting go. So we can talk about both. These are really interesting topics.
Yeah.
And Selena is, I can't see the number and
Yeah.
can't turn off the captions. So try to look at the number through the captions. Okay, Selena.
I've just put the number there.
Yeah, she put the number, so you can give us a call directly. And also, it's 07 308 192 908 because I go so fast.
You sound like an advertisement.
Okay.
Say that again with your deepest movie voice.
07 308 192 908. So so that's the number you can call anyone.
And don't forget, when you do call, it's best to switch off your live because live is on a slight lag, which means you're in 2 different time zones, as we well know and have experienced a few times before when I used to call in. And
So yeah, sometimes if you are scared of opening up, then you can hear yourself and I say, oh my God, this
That's
is what I'm
even
saying.
worse,
You
yeah.
get self-conscious.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, when I'm talking on the mic, I don't have any monitor. I don't hear myself back. I'm just
No,
talking.
we don't hear. It's like we're in our living room having a conversation.
Exactly. So that's how we do that. And you can see us. We're sitting here and literally looking at you.
In our hoodies. Well,
Yeah, in our hoodies. Yeah. I have mine.
Yep.
Yeah, we're matching colors.
Yeah. I'm wearing your top. Thanks,
Who's
guys.
matching who?
I'm matching you, I suppose.
Yeah.
But this is yours, so.
I mean, that's your stuff. A gift is a gift.
It is
When you
true,
give
it
it to
is true.
someone,
Yeah,
you don't
but-
take it back.
No, this is true. But when it's a gift, it's like it was
Yeah.
yours and you've worn it, so
Yeah.
it's yours. You know.
But it had been with you for a year, so yeah. And it has a lot of story. So it's amazing. So by the way,
Yes.
people who were there with us, Selena, Syra is there. Syra is in and out probably, I'm not sure. But yeah, people who are listening now, I would suggest you can give us a call back and talk about the fear that you have. And I think I see a lot of people who are joining in. I have one of the person I know from Australia, he's joining. So you can give us a call back and
Yeah.
talk about your worst fears. So in the meantime, we'll keep on talking about our fears. So my fear, I discussed about the idea of letting go.
Yeah.
How to let go. So my point when it comes to material things, I always tell myself, even I told you the day our bikes were stolen, that people die. How do we live when people, they are most important than anything else in your life, like a bike or a material or anything, my guitars.
Yeah.
But a human being is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so long that's a positive human being and you want that human being to be a part of your life,
Yeah.
that human being is a very important part. So if you lose someone, people die, you still live, you carry on with your life. But what happens when you lose a thing?
Yeah.
So it's nothing. I mean, you
Yeah.
can always replace a thing, but you can't replace a human being.
No.
So if you can leave after that, that's one way. But there's another thing.
But what was interesting, what was upsetting about the bike wasn't so much the bike itself, because the bike actually wasn't in the most amazing condition. It was the fact that I had traveled on it through Europe over 2,000 miles, and the whole thing had been custom made with so much love by my dad. That was actually the upset.
Funny thing is, let me share. The other day, I was doing something with my external hard drive. So I have a few hard drives there. So I was trying to transfer a few files here and there. Hard drive was playing up, and I tried to do some technical stuff with that. I deleted nearly 1 terabyte of things in there. There are a lot of important files, memories, and other projects and work, a lot of things. And I don't have any backup of those, which is very silly. But I was trying to clear up my computer, so they were the only backup. I didn't back them up to another external drive. So now I have a fresh new hard drive. I'm looking at the positive side of things, because that's totally empty. All those things are deleted. I don't have any backup. And you know what I said? Done. I'm still alive.
No, you said, thank God Esther has backed up a lot of things too.
Yeah. You have backed up,
I
but
did,
the
but no.
things I had on those hard drive, you don't have them.
I know.
So I was telling, I'm still alive. So long I'm alive, I'll keep on making new memories. And most of the time, thinking about memories, especially photos, videos, nowadays we go everywhere. We take our phones out and we take pictures, we take
Yeah.
videos. Sometimes, yeah, we post them on social media, but most of the time they stay on your phone. You don't even go back and check. Back in the days when people used to have limited photos, because I think it was 36 photos you could take in a reel,
Yeah.
and there would be some, if you're lucky. I used to know, my mom used to get so happy if you can get one extra, like 37, 38. Oh my God, it's going up to 42.
Yeah.
But those were the days. And
Click.
you have those photos, you wait for them for 7
Yeah.
days or 2 weeks for
Yeah.
them to get developed, and that
Yeah.
it would come.
Yeah.
You'd make an album, then you show it to people. It was almost like magazines. Anytime we had people visiting our house, we'd share and show them. I mean,
Yeah.
did you guys do the same thing?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that this Christmas we'll be going through a bunch, since I've been putting family pictures into the
Yeah.
album. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the memories, the value of memories, when you hold on to them, it means something to you. And it shows as well, when there's too many of something, even if it's a good thing, sometimes they lose the value.
Yeah.
So that's
True,
why
yeah.
it was even Tagore in it's called Shesher Kobita. So that's it's one of his novels, and where he mentioned that when you have something good, it's better to have them fewer in numbers, because then you can value it.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
we have Rezwanur Rahman making another
Oh, wow.
interesting comment. Okay, during the pandemic, I donated an artwork of master Bangladeshi Spanish artist Munirul Islam, which was 1,50,000. Wow, Bangladeshi taka, and also donated a vinyl record of Lionel Richie with original autograph.
wow,
Amazing. Bangladesh Art Week Dubai based organization arranged an art auction. I'd always feel for common people and pray for giving them a quality life. Pray for giving them a quality life. Okay.
Nice, that's
and
really good.
It's
That's really
amazing.
good that you did
So a big round of applause for Rezwanur Rahman from all of us. Rezwan, you should give us a call. It's
Yeah, I
really
agree.
nice to see that he donated a masterpiece from Bangladeshi Spanish artist. I know him, Munirul Islam. And this it is 1,50,000, so it's nearly like 1,500 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he had donated that one
Wow.
to an organization who are doing an art auction, and his vinyl collection, one of his vinyls from his collection, is autographed by Lionel Richie.
Wow.
So two things here, and I would like to know, Rezwan, definitely you had an intention or a motive that you always want to help people and give them a quality life, especially common people. So from that point of view, we'd like to know that what it made you feel when you had done that one. Because every time I do, even in my capacity, I end up doing something for someone when I'm not expecting anything in return. When I see that smile, and even sometimes people don't acknowledge you, I still feel such happiness and peace inside. Selena is saying, sorry, phone died, I'm back. Hopefully I can listen back to what I missed. And will our voices be heard by everyone, just wondering how this calling works? Okay,
Yes.
everyone would listen to it. It's like a TV calling show. So when you call back, everyone who's listening to the show now, they will hear your voice.
But we suggest that you turn off the live and then call us on WhatsApp, because the live...
I mean, you can mute it. You don't have to turn off. You just mute the live. Don't listen to it. Listen to your phone and have a normal phone conversation. You can listen back later on, but you'll hear us clearly.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
We have the phone right here. So it's as if you'll be talking to us on this phone.
Yep. So you just hold the phone next to your ear, or, I don't know. Use your speakerphone, however you want to do that. But main thing, keep the live muted so you don't listen to the feedback. So there will be a time lag if you do that. That's the only suggestion. So Rizwanur Rahman, I would like to know from you. I mean, I don't know. He's commenting probably. I don't know what. He's probably not in a place where he can make a phone call. It's quite late at night in Bangladesh. It's nearly 1:45. Probably that could be the reason.
Oh yeah.
So you can still, if there's no other barriers like that, it's just you feeling not calling or being a bit lazy. Amazing things you're doing. You should let people know what it feels like after you have done something like that. What makes you feel like. So this is very valuable, and people, especially people like Selena, who's asking that her fear is letting go. That's one of my favorite topics, because the more you achieve that goal of letting go, the freer you become. So you can detach yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to become a monk, or you don't have to become someone who's giving up on everything in life. But it's about that nothing keeps you attached, that you feel free from inside and nothing is holding you back. That's the idea of letting go. So how are you going to do that? We can talk about it. And when we get to know about your fear and what it makes you feel like, I think that's the best platform, and that's how we can talk more about that. We can't see the air, but the air is everywhere. I think once I attempt to support anyone, I do it silently. That's true. So we already know about this because it will inspire people. That's very good to do it silently. But sometimes when you share it, someone else realizes, why don't I do it? Because I have so many things that I can give away. It would come to someone else's assistance, someone else's help, and just make someone else's life better. Why am I not doing it? So from your message, someone else might get inspired. So that's a very good thing that you shared with us. We thank you for that. And also, you don't see things. It definitely has an impact, silent impact in someone else's life. But if you let people know that what it makes you feel like, that amazing feeling. Okay, we have Selena on the line. Let's listen to Selena. Hello,
okay,
Selena.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hi, Esther. I took a leap of faith and I'm calling in. I don't think I've ever called in a program in my life.
Well, this is probably the safest and most secure and friendliest place to start with.
Take a word for that, Selena.
Yes. I used to. This is actually about. Well, it was a while ago, but the first show I ever called in to was his show, which was In Harmony with Ershad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've come out of Facebook obviously because I'm doing everything on my phone. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about letting go of something that is toxic, because you feel like you remember the good moments, as Ershad was mentioning.
Yeah.
And even though
you're talking about people, Selena.
Yeah,
okay.
a person. Yeah. So even though you deserve much, much better, the good moments and the person is kind of like keeping you kind of in.
And the worst thing is that you are the one who's talking about and conjuring those memories of good moments in your own mind, because you're trying to justify why you shouldn't let go.
Because I know I'm manifesting. I manifest a lot. So any person might not be, the greatest, person for me or whatever, but I manifest them into being something that they're not.
Right. Yeah. And it makes it okay somehow to keep it going.
You make them greater than they actually are, which you look back after some years and be like, no, they weren't really that great.
That comes from a fear as well. This is the fear of change. And this is also the change, which is uncertainty, because any change means that you're going to face some uncertainties, right? So that's one of the things. But as human, this is an instinct we have. We like certainty, and we normally don't like uncertainties. That's where fear starts. But then when we have too much certainty again, we are this race, the whole human race, we are really questionable sometimes, because when we have too much certainty again, we get bored. Then we want some uncertainties.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that's how people get into relationships, extramarital affairs, and things like that. So your fear, you have personally been through that experience yourself?
Yeah, I'm going through it right now.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So what are you doing? And every now and then, anything helps that you're trying to do at the moment that helps you or distract your mind from that gives you some courage.
Some courage. I mean, what distracts me is, the things I enjoy, which is everything like artsy. But it's kind of like being stuck in mud. You're really, really stuck, even though you know what to do, but you're afraid to do it for a prolonged time period. Because that person in question might be very nice. It's very up and down.
So have you ever, apart from what I said, that change is one thing, is that okay, sometimes we feel like, okay, I'm scared of being alone. So there's someone in my life at least now, and at least I want to talk to someone. I can pick up the phone, or probably we can meet up or see that person. I'm not talking per se about you, but in general. So that's one of the fears definitely people have. Okay, what's going to happen? Who's the next person, or what's the next person would be like? Probably they would be even more toxic. Then what I'm going to do? So there's another thing probably we don't realize at that point about our self-worth. How precious we are. What is my worth as a human being? I mean, as you said, that you definitely understand, or someone definitely understands in general, that they deserve better than that. But they still carry on. So it's about, I think that's a time when someone should have a conversation with themselves, thinking that, okay, what do I deserve? What are my qualities? And as a human being, what are the good things that I can offer? And what I'm depriving others of as well? I mean, because when you are not taking care of yourself, you're not being able to take care of the others around you. Like the amazing poetries you write, right? So I'm not, trust me, because I don't have all the facts, I'm talking in general. I'm not saying that's what's happening in Selena's life, but we're just saying. So you are such a good poet, and she has very good understanding of literature, and she studied creative writing or creative...
no, I studied English and comparative literature.
Comparative literature. So, Selena, I think so people can understand your writing. Why don't you recite something fresh or anything that you like from your own poetries, anything that you'd like to recite for us today? Then we can get back to the conversation again. So you would know also, just from your personal point of view, your self-worth as well, just to understand, have this conversation with yourself by sharing your poetry with us. Let's do that.
Or something that has been an inspiration to you when you're going through a tough time, or something that is inspiring to you.
Then that would be two poetry.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. So, but the thing is, I really appreciate Selena's writing. She's very good. She's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, this I wrote a few years ago. It's called Insomnia. It's a little after 12. The rain has subsided, leaving absorbed concrete and an almost tangible breeze. Thoughts seep through the cracks of my sleep-deprived mind. Images cast create a silent dreamscape in which I am the observer and the observed. Open my eyes and everything's a quiet blur. Subtle stirrings shift the images into non-entities. My eyes cover the blank canvas, like the snow outside slowly being encroached upon. Sleep hovers on the edge of everything. About to enter semi-consciousness, I start to sink. The wind is going on a pace of its own, without any thunder or lightning, as if the sirocco of North Africa has reached this part of the world. Eyes adjusting to the darkness, I think of the countless number of people lying awake in the dead of night, immersed in a book they had long been meaning to read, and others more, silently breathing, eyes open, quietly aware of nothing more than their sleepless selves.
Amazing,
Oh,
amazing,
wow.
amazing. as I said,
That's
right?
incredible. I actually literally,
She's mesmerized.
I feel like I'm lying in bed sort of wondering about life.
I don't have, just to point out, I don't have insomnia. I just wrote this like one night.
I mean, you don't have to have that.
I don't either, but I know what it's like to just lie there and wonder.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know,
No, but your
That's
power
great.
is
Oh
every
my
time
God.
I've listened to your
Feel
poetry,
it.
she creates images in your mind.
Yeah,
The imagination is so powerful, and you create the picture that people literally can see that.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, they're listening to you, but at the same time, it's very powerful. That's why I
Yeah.
like your poetry. So when she
Thank
was
you.
performing last time, Selena, you're welcome always. So when she was performing and during the rehearsals, she went a little faster. I mean, she does. So I was like, Selena, the words, you need to live, feel it, breathe it.
That's
So
awesome.
you should read that as well, the one you performed. I
okay,
think
really?
it was it was from your visit in Bangladesh, right?
Yeah.
That's when you wrote that, because she had given us the background. So you should read that, and people from Bangladesh as well, they would feel, because how you look at Bangladesh through your eyes, being a Westerner. So it'd be nice.
Okay. As if you're sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess should I do a little introduction?
Yeah, please do it,
go
please.
for it.
Okay, so I wrote this following my second time visiting Bangladesh after nearly 30 years. It was a truly memorable experience and made me connect deeply with my roots, where I had an immediate spiritual and emotional connection. Upon my return, the yearning was almost palpable, and I fell in love with not only the language, but Bangla music, films, books, and anything I could get my hands on. I hope my feelings and emotions are reflected in this piece titled Roots and All, and some of you may be able to relate. Okay. Settled within a nook in my room, leaning against treasured collections of towering books, I find myself immersed in Jhumpa Lahiri's The Interpreter of Melodies. Sparsely written, yet cozy and warm, the words invite me to dream of my future beau. Stirring some Bengali dishes on the stove, taking a wooden spoon, feeding him a little of what I've made, hand-cupped carefully under, ready for anything that falls, a cuisine of love. We sit to eat amidst golden candlelight, while gentle aromas fill the air, taking us back to a time of the rooster's call and approaching heat, toasted biscuits, warm chai, fragrant cinnamon, and the mustard yolk of freshly laid eggs. Endless verdant greenery and crystalline waters, small yet spacious boats, intimately designed rickshaws, of nocturnal badminton and cricket by flashlight, spools of laughter unraveling, echoing in the insect-filled night. While the day permeates every inch with beeps and horns, exclamations of all kinds. You return from your travels, exhausted beyond belief, playing the day's memories on a projector reel of your mind. Dust settles, the mortuary is tied, coal lit, all is calm. The moon casts none of its mystical glow tonight. I miss the distant lunar power of that incandescent orb, sensual and strong, upended in the inky black sky, surrounded by endless starry points, infinity, a full stop in pitch-dark tranquility. Though my milky white namesake I still long to find, huge in that other land I was sorry to leave behind. The end.
Oh my goodness me.
I mean, you should ask her about this, because when she was leaving Bangladesh, Esther,
Oh my God.
that was in August, right?
Yeah.
She was literally
I was a
crying.
mess. I was a mess.
How long were you there for?
50 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was my longest ever since I left the country.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I stayed there 50 days on a visit, and I was in lockdown. And funny thing, I should share now, probably anyone from the hospital, I'm going to share the story. They're not listening. There's a hospital. It's a very big hospital in Chittagong where I come from. So next to our house, so you could even walk or take a rickshaw, you go there. So during the lockdown, there's no other shops open, but we would like to go somewhere to sit down, have, as you mentioned, chai. So she learned even to make Bangladeshi chai, the deshi chai.
I make it for breakfast now.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. So we would go where we can have some shingara, some chai. You know shingara, right, Selena?
Yeah.
So we just ended up pretending that we are here to collect reports in the hospital because they had a cafe and they would leave it open during the lockdown. So
Yeah.
every day
Something
we
to
would
just
show
make
up.
your mind like have imagination, isn't it?
It
during
really
lockdown?
does,
Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing was what was really awkward is that we obviously had left the country and came back into England while the lockdown here was lifting. But, because we'd come from a red zone, we had to go for 2 weeks in a quarantine hotel. So normally when you arrive back home, you sort of settle back in and you get back on with your affairs, and we couldn't. So we were just in a room, which gave us a good solid 2 weeks to just reminisce about everything that had just happened, which was actually kind of nice because we were both really not ready to go back to that life again.
That's when, in fact, this podcast started as well.
Yeah, we did the first live from the quarantine hotel.
But now going back to Selena's experience, because we had to mention that how powerfully you literally paint a picture.
Amazing.
I was very, very sad when I came back.
I can imagine.
I'm born in London. London is my home and everything. But it felt like leaving, a loved one. Obviously, I left some family there, but they're not my immediate family. And I just came back and I was like, I miss the nature sounds. I miss waking up to like these goats and chickens in the yard. Oh my gosh.
And it's really interesting when someone who grew up, say she went there after 30 years.
Yeah.
So when you grow up in a different country and how you can value Bangladesh. Say, for example, after coming back, the music she talks about. And there's another person, she grew up in England as well. I'm talking about Nikat.
Yeah.
So they listen to music. Some of the music they share with me and they share like, okay, this is what I listen to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never listened to this myself, but they do find this music and they do listen to it. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
And people...
I think also, I'm blowing my own trumpet. I don't understand Bangla like fluently, and I still listen to it because I find it such a beautiful language.
I agree.
And because I speak a different dialect, but there are some words obviously that are similar. And it just connects. Like when the plane landed, I just felt it in my soul.
Yeah.
These people look like me.
Yeah.
Even though they knew I'm not Bangladeshi. They knew I'm not from there.
Yeah.
So there's an identity crisis. You're not really British or English. You're not really Bangladeshi. And I think I'll probably have that forever. But this is where, my parents are from, my grandparents, ancestors. So there is that immediate connection.
Yeah.
And, England or the UK is not perfect either. There's so many things wrong in every country. But with Bangladesh, nothing can kind of compete with the relatives and how they welcome you, and the nature and the stars in the sky. Like a very simple New Year's Eve I spent with my mom, just chatting and staring at the stars.
Yeah.
We
used to do that
in
at
the
night.
yard.
We would do that at night, at the end of the night, when it was time for the prayers, and we would be on the balcony, and we would be there as a sort of, it became our own little ritual. And funnily enough, you're saying how you felt like you stood out and weren't really part of it. Try thinking about me. I'm 5'11", I'm white, and I'm blonde. Yet I had a connection closer to that country than I had to my own country originally. And the grief I felt when I left, I can't describe it.
This is incredible actually, because I haven't heard of a person who's, so far removed. But
it was bizarre. Yeah, no, and I started...
when she landed the first time, when we were going to our house and we were in a taxi at the time. So literally she was looking around. She was very silent. And I was like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? And she was silent because she couldn't take in she was looking around because everything is under construction. Nothing is finished. And
the driving, oh my God, it was so crazy. I was holding onto his arm. I actually thought we were going to die in a taxi car crash.
And also the hospitality in Bangladesh.
That was amazing.
That was the amazing thing.
That was amazing.
But that was something that scared her initially. She would go to a shop, people would be around her asking if she needs help. And she would be feeling like, oh my God, there's invasion of
privacy.
Yeah.
Invasion of privacy.
Oh my God.
Like, I remember going to the hospital. I got ill like 5 times, and I had to say like my problem in a room full of strangers with a doctor, which was weird.
Yeah.
There's no confidentiality.
No.
And
no, there isn't. No.
Or maybe this is just a Sylhet hospital. I don't know, but
no. We went to a dentist in Chittagong, and there was 2 people at the same time having their teeth being done with 5 people watching. It was the same.
Yeah,
it's so strange, and it's like. I didn't understand this, and then I went to, you have to go to the young doctor first, and then you have to go to the older one.
Yes.
So then I saw the older doctor, and I was kind of, there was stuff to be said, and some other people came in saying, "Doctor, please give like prescription," and I was like, Okay.
Shall I carry on, or would I have a time out?
Yeah,
exactly.
there was no confidentiality. But then I spoke to someone else, actually, the toxic person, and he said that in Dhaka it's different. It's the
Yeah.
hospitals are not like this. Um,
No, I don't have that experience, to be honest. Every time I had gone to see a doctor, then the door was closed. It's just me and the doctor,
Yeah.
or my parents and the doctor. I mean, however we were there. So yeah, I haven't experienced that. But the dentist, that was an experience which
That
Esther
was
said.
funny.
That was like, yeah, next to me when someone was doing my teeth, there are two other people who were so he was just going from person to
Yeah, he
person.
was
that was
doing two
funny.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And he had,
that's quite scary. I don't know how good Bangladesh dentistry is, but I
We're
don't think I would
talking
go
about
there.
multitasking, right?
yeah, I
So
mean, he did a pretty good job. Yeah, and there was, parents sitting on the side, and I mean, there was at least 9 of us in the room at some point, and I was,
So, Selena, let's get back to the topic again.
Yes.
So, your writing, is it?
I wanted to say something. Sorry, just to cut in. I
Please,
wanted to say
please.
something about my writing
Uh-huh.
and literature and everything. So this person, obviously, we now know he's Bangladeshi. He does not appreciate we are very fundamentally two different people, but obviously we have some good memories.
yeah,
He never once came to support me in my readings. Not just the BBPC, but just generally.
Anyway,
I don't know if he's afraid of literature. He always says these things are very, very painful for me, like literature is dead. And, there's nothing wrong with hard sciences, but literature is very, very important to me. I mean, I'm sitting in a room now with like 1,000 books surrounding me. But and when I talk about him, when I vent about him, I'm just like, this person is so wrong for me. But then, like I said, it feels like I'm stuck in toffee or like mud. I can't unstick myself.
yeah.
Because like Ershad was saying, you're scared of like who is the next person going to be. And but
it's the
literature is
time,
so
Selena, I have learned from my own experiences. This is the time when you take some time out just with yourself. Don't think about the next person at all. Just with yourself and think about what I want and what exactly happened. You learn something out of that. There's definitely some positive lesson to take out from. And also there is a mistaken belief that when you have a partner, you have to like, both of you have to like everything. Like you have to be on the same page. You have to like the same thing. So you have
no. I understand.
No, I mean, definitely.
we should-
You're not saying that, I know.
appreciate.
But where I was getting at, definitely some differences are needed, but at least it has to be on the same wavelength. Say, for example, the kind of books or the poetries I like, she probably not like, she wouldn't like the same kind of book, Esther I'm talking about, but she likes books. So we have our times when we visit, bookshop is our go-to place. We go together, we enjoy that adventure. We try to go around London to different bookshops together. So what we do, but we don't stand by the same shelf. She would go to our arts books, and
Arts,
I would go
graphic
poetry,
design, etc.
self-improvement and things like that, science. This is my place. And I would just stand there and read books there. She would be, then we catch up somewhere. And sometimes there had been times like in Waterstones, if you go to Paddington, Oxford Street, that's the flagship. So
Piccadilly, yeah.
Piccadilly.
so
yeah.
it was like few floors.
Yeah.
So she would be, okay, I'm going to the second. I'm going to the fourth or things like that. So, but then we meet up. But it doesn't have to be that you have to like the same thing. But there's a bigger problem when you have bigger differences, like it's totally diametrically opposed. Say, for example, nothing against people who like gaming. But say I'm playing games all day, but she hates that, say, for example. But then it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what we also found is that when, obviously he's a musician, so he does a lot of practice every single day. But, I'm not an actual practicing musician, so I don't really need to do that. But at the same time, he'll be gone for a few hours. So then I carry on with my own university classes of graphic design and fine art. So we have a slot where we say, good, we're doing it now, excellent, 2 hours. And then we don't see each other for a bit and we have some breaks and that's it. But the other thing...
it's important to have your own space. That's very good.
Yeah.
But you definitely need the support, I understand.
Yeah.
Say, for example, as we are talking about, I had a few performances recently, but the timing was as such, Esther couldn't join
I would
me.
have been there if
I
it
missed
wasn't
it.
there. Yeah.
But since I said that I had spent the time with myself to become that strong, that I can still deliver.
Yeah.
I can still be myself. I can still enjoy the time, but I know that she's there in spirit.
Yeah.
Because we had that support system.
Yeah.
Because I know when I finished, I come home, I can share with her.
Yeah.
I can tell her, and we would have laugh, chat about the whole situation, experience. And when the time comes, whenever she can join, she will.
Yeah.
But main
See,
thing,
this is the problem. This is one of the integral issues is I feel I'm not listened to. You know how you're saying like interests have to, they don't have to be the same, of course. It doesn't overlap, or you listen to the other person listens to you, you chat about your day.
Yeah.
But every time I speak, I feel like he's either not listening or I'm a ghost or something.
Yeah.
So obviously that's,
you are answering some of your own questions. You know that. So I'm not saying, because this is for you to see. It's like a mirror. So when you are saying those things, you probably definitely think in your head, but now it's out loud. You can listen
to the
yourself.
public.
No, I mean, to the
Yes.
public. It doesn't matter at all. You know what? End of the day, when you go through these things, there's no one in the world who can help you but yourself. So I have seen sometimes, yeah, it helps talking to people, but the best thing is that why we have this platform. Say when you're sharing now, what's happening, you're listening to yourself. You can probably listen to the show 100 times later on to your phone call, and you will hear yourself. What am I saying? So this is what I am going through. No one is telling you to do what to do. No one's giving you the advice or the therapy, but you have to listen to yourself. And also, self-respect is one thing that's very important to know, because as I was saying, the time you are born, that's the time your self-worth starts. That you're alive, that itself is valuable. And you have to, from that point onwards, you have to know, okay, what do I deserve? So we deserve, as human beings, forget about Selena, Ershad or Esther. As human beings, we deserve and we want to be loved, we want to be understood, we want to be heard, we want to be seen, we want the significance in our lives. So the moment you don't have that, you feel that you're lacking that, trust me, slowly everything goes down without you knowing, and you keep on pushing your self-respect down. So it's better to be alone for some time. It's better to be, I mean, probably the person, if he gets to listen, he would just go out with a gun and thinking that this guy is giving her wrong advice. But it's not about you, for everyone. Because I've been through my own experiences in life when I really, and she had been through.
Yeah.
So when we realized that we have to respect ourselves, because this one life I'm getting just for once, I'm not coming back. So if I am with the wrong person and my soul or my mind or my spirit needs the nourishment and I'm not getting it, then what's the point of being with the person, rather than when you are better spending time with yourself, reading your books, writing your poetry, going out to doing whatever you like to do. You know, and I have done that. Have you done this? Do you do these things on your own sometimes?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I do this all the time. I'm an arts critic, so I always go to events. Sometimes, I have a +1, but people can't make it for whatever reason. Yeah, I have spent a lot of time by myself, and this is why probably my best friend thinks that I really want like this companionship, that I'm not willing to let go of something that is actually not right for me. It's not.
End of the day, first of all, you have to remember, we are our best friends, first of all. Definitely, she's my best friend too. I mean, best friend number 2 as well. But the thing is that in every occasion, there are times when you are left totally, I mean, even myself, even Esther probably herself, than when she's just with herself. I'm not there. But there are times when she's not there. I'm just with myself. When I am having my confusions, I'm having even probably about her sometimes for what us as well. I mean, we are human beings. We should have that. So then we talk to ourselves. Then there's a time when we talk to each other.
Yeah.
Find out, okay, I'm feeling like this. And she's saying, I'm feeling like this. So we shouldn't do this. This is what is happening. Or I shouldn't do this. I'm sorry for that. You know, conversation comes later on. But first, we have this conversation with ourselves because we are our best friends. Because the day you were born, you were totally with yourself and you were the first person to support yourself. So if you're doing these things all by yourself, and even if you don't have any other best friend at the moment, always the happiness you should be seeking from within, not through external sources. But definitely it helps. I understand. We all need the companionship. We need the need for connection. That's another human instinct. But first of all, connect with yourself And Esther was about to tell you something probably. You wanted to
Yeah,
add.
no, I was gonna give some things that you actually told me in the very beginning, because the thing is, I don't think there's such thing as, if you have a partnership with someone, that can be a husband or a wife or even just friends, and if you feel you're just not happy with how it's going, then it is very, very likely that that other person feels the same way. Like, how could it possibly be that, you're not happy with this and you're having to change? And I think the core thing that we really agreed on in the beginning, me and Ershad, is that we are never going to change for each other if it is to be something like, it would not be right if we have to go against our own integrity or against what we feel is right. We just have to be able to be ourselves. And if we can't be ourselves, then this relationship was just not meant to be. Unfortunately, we've had to make no changes to ourselves at all. But it's not nice to have to change for someone, and possibly the person you're referring to is also just as miserable, as he can't change you and you're not about to change.
And also he can't change himself.
No, and or maybe he can, maybe he doesn't want to. But the point is, why change yourself for another person if it's for the sake of the relationship? If you could just be friends and at least share the things that you did like, because obviously there was a reason why he was your friend in the first place. Keep those things, but don't have to then have the change, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I am expected to change.
Because I
don't want to. I don't want to
exactly.
change. Like,
and I actually had a really good friend of mine. We were in a relationship. This is years ago, and it was not working. And I was feeling I'm having to be something else, and he was feeling the same. And one day we just sat down and we said, this just doesn't work. And we realized that we were really good friends. Then we, were together, and starting the relationship was the stupidest thing we could have ever done. And we just went back to being good friends. And he didn't have to keep up with me, and I didn't have to slow down with him. And we were both and still now, 20 years later.
It has to work. Okay, it has to come from both sides.
It has to come from both sides.
We both, that's the thing. We both are like stuck. Stuck, and no one is taking the leap of faith and completely saying goodbye.
Yeah. But have you shared?
It's falling back into old patterns.
Yeah.
Have you shared with him that this is what you're feeling like? Did you have any communication both ways, like from him or yours?
Yeah, there are certain things that he's expecting me to change, and one of them is like very, very important to me, like my events, things, and I'm like, no, because I love events. It's not my life, but I love it.
No, Celine, I'm asking that, did you communicate that it's not working out anymore and you are thinking that probably it's not working out? Did you share?
Yeah, we did communicate. I think I was the first one.
Yeah.
But we've just been probably too sad. You see someone and then, or you hang out after you break up, which is probably not the best thing to do. And then you still kind of like them, or you're reminiscing, even though, like Ershad was saying earlier, you have to counteract the good stuff with the bad stuff, and it is mostly bad stuff.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, in the end of the day,
because that's the justification. It's a pattern. Yeah. Everyone does the same thing. So they keep on saying, okay, shall I do that? No, we had those. You just try to find out, dig down in the memory lane, and you go somewhere. I said, okay, remember back in 2007, this happened, and we were this. And you just keep on you just try to hold on to anything that you can remember, because you are scared. You're scared to be alone. That's one thing. We need that connection with someone. And also this companionship. You just scared to be alone.
Because I know there's so many men out there, without it sounding too crass, but there's many men out there, maybe some who are similar to me, but I don't know, there's just something where they say that it's to do potentially to do with your kind of upbringing, these attachment theories and things like that. I studied psychology as well, so I feel like that's maybe got something to do with it. There's avoiding attachment.
The men say, a lot of the men, there's no certainty there. The certainty you have with this person, because you've been together for a long time, you know each other well. So that's certainty is an issue that makes us totally. It's a scary thing too, when you feel that it's uncertain. Okay, the person looks good, the other person has many things in common, but what if? There's always a what if. Even subconsciously it comes. And every time we try to do something, there's always a what if that stops us.
Yeah.
Say, for example, when someone is trying to call us on the show, on the smallest scale I'm talking about, they're like, what if people laugh at me and I don't add anything of any value to this conversation? There's all these things. And say, for example, first of all, Round of applause for being so fearless
For calling in.
and sharing, because to put yourself out there and also exposing the things that people are normally so self-aware,
it's very
they
good.
feel that, oh my
Very
God, what
brave.
other people will think about me.
Yeah.
But this is a very fearless thing. You have done an amazing job, and just use that courage to listen to yourself, listen to what you had said, shared with us. You had said one very important thing. What was that? When I was like, you are answering your own question. When you said that you feel like there's no one who listens to you, and you don't have that listening ears, and no one is there to value the things that you do. You don't
I mean,
have.
no, apart from my like family and friends,
Yeah.
but the person, your companion, husband, boyfriend, whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're supposed to be the one who, you're
One of the
very
most
close to,
important
and
people, isn't it? Because they
yeah,
are the nearest one. Your family, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, they see you in a light, but your companion, your partner, or your husband, or your boyfriend, they see you in a completely different light on top of what they know about you. They know something more,
They know a lot more, yeah.
lot more. So they're
Yeah.
definitely the closest.
But I think at the root of everything, obviously, you have a viewpoint, and so does this other person. And I mean, from the only thing I can say is from our own personal experience is that at the root of a problem is often also something not communicated. And so once you've had that communication with yourself, then communicating with the other person is going to be the only way out, because in the end of the day, we've had situations where we've just been like this, and it's just finding out what happened. And when you sort that out, there's nothing you can't talk about, and there really is nothing we can not talk about now.
Do you know about this term toxic positivity?
What are you trying to say?
Do you know?
Are you asking me? Yeah, I have heard of it. Is it like making someone feel bad for?
No, it's like
No.
when you're feeling bad, we always say, we try to push it down, and we're like, okay, we have to be positive. We can do it. I can do it. Hey, say, for example, why I brought it up, because you said you communicated with each other once, but probably you need to have more communications.
Actually, it's been more than once. What we did, without going into too much detail, is we jumped into it.
Yeah.
So we weren't friends.
Yeah.
We met on an app, jumped straight into it because he wanted a relationship, I wanted a relationship. We didn't know each other. But the more we got to know each other, obviously things started appearing.
Yeah.
And you realize, no, this person is completely like opposite of me or completely wrong for me.
Yeah.
Because you have a bonding, you have a friendship, companionship, but the thing is that sometimes, some people can be good as friends, but not necessarily they can be good as partners or husbands or wives. It's totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
So I think
I was wondering, to butt in a little bit, how did you guys meet? Because your relationship is something that I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, so we both of us, I think I always believed in one thing, and I worked on myself, because I'm not above any kind of shortcomings. I have my own shortcomings. She has her shortcomings.
I don't.
So she's perfect.
I'm perfect.
Yeah, so I had been working
That's a
on
joke,
myself.
by the way.
Say based on some experiences in life, like say you are going through something, right? During that time, initially we blame the other person more, to be honest. That's how it happens. So you always think, okay, the other person didn't do this, the other person didn't do that. We forget to go inside and see what are we lacking, what are the things that we need to work on. So I realized at the time that I need to work on this, and I started working on myself. I'm not perfect. You can never be perfect, but you can change your responses towards things. So I started working on myself really diligently, everything, and it really, I am in a place now. I find more peace now. I am more compatible, I feel. And during that time, when you're ready, you find that right person that comes.
And I had basically gone through a very similar thing. This is before I even knew him, where I'd been through a number of life experiences where I'd also started to really look good. What is it that I want to do with my life? Where do I want to go? What do I want to achieve? And I just sort of came to a point in my life where I made a huge amount of changes, and I was thinking, well, if the right person shows up, he will show up. But I also I was not going to compromise anymore with what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted, and we actually met by accident. It was a meeting.
It was by an accident, a very professional meeting.
Yeah, it was a meeting that I was, at the time I was running an organizational, like a charity, like a community center, and we were doing events, and he was part of a Zoom meeting of an event that I had arranged. So that's how we met, and I saw the guitars on the back of his wall. And I said to him, hey, that's cool, you're a musician. Obviously, I'm a musician, so there was a point of reality there. And then it sort of became a really good friendship to start with, and it went from there.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing, but later on, initially when you go into relationship together, you learn every now and then from your mistakes. So I'm really happy. There's one thing I learned during my process of working on myself, that being able to accept anything that you're lacking is one of the points, because in a relationship, you're not there to win. You have to remember.
No.
So there are times when probably I now find out, say for example, she's not responding well, or I see that she's not unhappy or she's upset about something. I try to find the sources rather than having an argument. She has her point, I have my point, we are talking. And then I realize, okay, something is wrong. I said, did you eat? And how are you feeling? Because probably and I realize most of the time it happens down to that she's starving, she didn't eat.
Yeah, like hunger.
Hungry, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are the reasons. So it's down to the communication. And we had some ground rules in a relationship we set out straight away.
Yeah.
Because this is part of the experiences and the work we had done to ourselves.
Yeah.
And she is a very good listener, even better than I am, I would say.
Depends.
But I sometimes, it helps me being around a good listener when I can listen to her. So that's why you see during the show I'm talking a lot. I mean, a lot more than she does. So, but it helps in a sense that when you are with a person who has some positive qualities, it rubs off. That's one thing. And communication, she believes in that, non-violent communication.
Ever.
We don't have any violent communication at all. I can't even recall.
No.
So,
no, it's never happened.
Yeah, it never happened.
And if there is an upset, sometimes you can get upset not with the other person, but due to a situation that happens. We make a point that we don't take out on the other person ever. We sort of consciously remove ourselves from the area and go, okay, what's going on? And then we go, good, this, and then we sort it out. But there's also no competition between us ever. There's not like...
It's main thing. You always have to remember in a relationship, there's no win or lose. No. You're not there to win. You're there to... be kinder.
Enhance the other
This
person.
is a very very adult plus very mature. I mean, nice way of obviously looking. Not everybody is like this, unfortunately, but it's a very self-aware. I think you both are very self-aware.
Yeah, for sure.
Because some people think, I have met these kinds of people. They think it's okay because let's say they're not hitting you or they're not swearing at you.
Yeah.
But they are swearing. They're still swearing.
Yeah.
Using bad language. And it's still very. Like a violent way of communicating.
True.
It's still very upsetting.
Yeah.
And it's not okay.
Because many people say, I hear that in a relationship, it's better to have some fights, it's better to have some arguments.
Oh yeah, that it keeps it spicy or whatever.
I don't approve of that.
I shouldn't say the word on air, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, how does it make sense? He actually asked me at some point, what is your viewpoint on having an argument? Do you think it's good every now and then to just have it out? And I said, no, because if you can't rationally resolve a conversation, do you think you can think rational when you're angry? I mean, who is rational when they're angry? There's no greater liar than those from an angry man. So there's no point in just yelling at it, other than if you want to let out some steam, then go and listen to hard rock music or something.
This is one of the reasons why people shouldn't, the hookup culture is that during the weekends you go out in a drunk pub. I mean, everyone is drunk.
Yeah.
You should meet people when people are sane and sober.
Sober, yeah.
Right?
I think also it's okay. It is normal to argue, but not what's been happening in my life, which is bickering every single day, because I think it's turned into it's toxic and it's turned into a winning, someone has to win. Yeah. Exactly. Someone has to have the last say.
Yeah, exactly. and like I said, he's probably just as unhappy about it as you are, because how can he be happy with that, in his life? I'm sure he doesn't mean you ill. He's not ill-willed, it's...
No, we both said it. I mean, he said he's not a bad person. He's not evil. I'm not a bad person.
No.
But we're just... You're just
not
each other.
Working at the moment, or maybe in the future. But and then the final thing is, by the way, golden rule: we don't ever go to sleep if there's some upset or something. We'd rather stay up all night and talk it over than to go to sleep when you're pissed off.
Yeah, they say never to go to sleep angry, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not good. It gives you nightmare. It gives me nightmares anyway.
Yeah, she has some very good qualities in terms, as I was saying, listening wise, and being a non-violent person, very understanding, helpful, and
So you
also
know what you both are doing right now? You are lifting each other up,
Yeah,
and everybody should do this, family, friends, everybody.
yeah,
Lift each other up rather than putting and criticizing
yeah,
and, putting someone down
yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
no,
And this is
that,
what happens in
yeah. It's not
like
good.
emotionally abusive relationships where
Yeah,
the other person would be, he's probably, they're probably unhappy, but
mm,
they're using it as a maybe means of letting it out.
yeah.
So
It doesn't
just
work.
just criticizing constantly, and then what's happening with me is even if I bring it up,
passive
it's
aggressive.
not it's not acknowledged. So it's
Yeah.
like saying to somebody who's a thief, you're a
Yeah.
thief, stop stealing. They're not going to care, right?
No, they're gonna be like, no,
So
I'm not. I deserve this.
yeah, no, I'm not. Or like, you insulted me. No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, you did, because I am obviously the other side of the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's why
it's
I
really
was saying that the main goal is not to win or lose.
Yeah.
It's to be being kinder, being more, more affectionate. That's the
Yeah.
main goal in a
Yeah.
relationship. That you try to be kinder to
Yeah.
each other.
And he also makes a real effort to get to the bottom of what a problem is. Because, when you're just like, I feel terrible. And he was like, okay, are you hungry? Are you tired? No, not really. Did someone speak to you? Like, he'll get to the root of it so it doesn't remain generalized. We just, good, now we have a cause, now we can do something about it. I mean, we are both grown ups. We've been, we've lived a very eventful life. Both of us been through, a very exciting life, and we were just at the exact right time, exactly crossed
I'm
paths.
still excited,
And
by the
we're
way.
super, yeah. And we're not, but yeah, but now we're double excited because
Yeah.
we're together, and we're basically, we just crossed it at the exact right time, and it was just bloody lucky.
So that's the thing, Selena. The thing is, when you feel like, just take the time with yourself to think,
Yeah.
okay, definitely there's a mismatch. But also, what are the things that you feel like you need to work on as well? Say, for example, self-respect, and be aware of the self-worth, and giving the time.
that's the thing. Everyone keeps on telling me this, but I do love myself. Of course, I like myself very much.
Yeah.
But when I'm in these kinds of situations,
Mm.
it doesn't. I think to an outside person, it looks like, oh no, that person is, Selena is tolerating so much, whereas 99.9% of people wouldn't.
I'm
Right.
sorry to say, in that case, probably you love yourself, but probably you're not loving yourself enough. The thing is, I mean, when you learn to love yourself, the thing is that the moment you love yourself to the fullest, when you can properly, then you can give the love to others. Because I love myself a lot. I take care of myself in every possible way. There are things I don't compromise.
Yeah.
Say, for example, when she wants to watch a movie or something, I sit down, I keep my phones away and everything, but we have a thing that we have to do things.
Yeah.
So we watch a movie probably over 5 days or 4 days of lunch and dinner. We don't finish it because
Yeah.
I have to do other things, she has to do other things.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is that there are certain things the other person needs to understand, and you have to, because I have to do those things. The time is very precious and I have to do those things. So I love myself. I have to go to the gym. I love her to join me in swimming most of the time. Sometimes she can't, but it doesn't mean that I don't end up going. But I feel that if she had been with me, I would love that. But
Yeah.
since I love doing that, I do it for myself, for my spirit, I go nonetheless. And she respects that.
Yeah.
She
This is
says,
the thing. I think I've been compromising in the sense that this person works a lot.
Yeah.
So they said for me not to take them to events during the weekdays. So I said okay. It was a little bit difficult, but I was like okay. So I've done that, but there's always something. And I think one of the main things that I didn't anticipate actually was a language problem, because I didn't realize at the beginning.
like what?
Like, because he's Bangladeshi, he came over here when he was 19.
Okay.
So I thought, because the first date, first few dates was fine, but I didn't realize that he can speak, good English, or he can speak English well, but it's not on the same level as me. So add on top of that communication, like
Because it's almost your first language. I think it's your first language, isn't it?
Oh, English, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for him it's the
Definitely.
second.
Yeah. And then I just think, like, there are people, I've met so many people who came over from Bangladesh, and I can speak to them for hours and hours. There's no problem. but probably right now it's the personality, language, communication, um,
True.
and not understanding what I'm saying maybe sometimes. So it just sounds like jibber jabber. Like if someone was speaking to me in Bangla, I'd be like, hang on a minute, like what are you saying exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But to be
it's a lot
honest
of
with
these
you, there's
things.
a category of negative people, which is called complainer. So say, for example, whatever you're telling them, say you tell them, oh, you're looking great, Selena, today. You're looking great today, Selena. So they'll be like, so what do you mean? I didn't look good yesterday? Because they
Oh my
always
gosh, yeah.
keep on finding problems.
Yeah.
So even if you're speaking Bangla, it doesn't matter. Even if you're speaking the same language, even at the same level of English, it's down to how the person interprets. I mean, it's the characteristic, to be honest. Because I've seen
Well,
people from different language totally, like proper American and someone who's from probably Malaysia or Indonesia, but they're so happy.
mm,
I mean, it's down to two human being, two people. Even they communicate. I mean, what do you think of people who can't speak, but they still have someone, a partner, who can speak? So a person can hear properly, can speak properly, but they
of,
still,
of course. Actually, I have a deaf sister.
yes.
So yeah,
Wow.
I think fundamentally what's happening here is what the other person thinks is that it's a mentality. So he looks at things very differently to me, and
That's
probably
it.
Sense.
more in a experiment. I'm more theoretical. He's more practical.
Right.
Yeah, more
So
more experiential. So how he experienced things and how he interpreted them, that's how he knows.
Yeah.
So say for example, if he feels like, okay, in a relationship, many people, especially from the Asian background, not to give any idea, there are different people as well.
yeah,
But when you grow up, it's like, okay, there's a dominion in terms of what the position of the role of a man in a household is, or role of a woman in a household, how you should talk, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what you're not, how you're not supposed to dress. Because I had a conversation yesterday that was funny. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but it came from a woman, and she was born here, right? And she grew up
mm,
here, but still she was talking about someone who dressed in a certain way she couldn't approve of. And I understand definitely if there always a dress code, it's like implied, even if it's not expressed. So if you're not said that, okay, this is how you're supposed to dress, and that's fine, then you know you have a dress code. But when you don't have a dress code, someone didn't tell you, then you take it from your experience that, okay, what kind of people I'm going to meet, what kind of circle I'm going in, so how I should be dressing up. So probably that person didn't think like that. And also, if that's part of our identity, the person we are talking about, the person in question, even though that wasn't probably not decent in that scenario, so we have to understand why would we ask that person to change herself if she's not ready to do so, if that's what is part of her identity. Say, for
mm,
example, for Esther, I never ask her, say, if you're going to a Bengali festival or Bengali occasion or even like Asian festival
events.
or
Yeah.
events or any moment or celebratory events. So she would come and ask me, shall I wear this? Shall I wear a sari? Shall I wear this? I said, it's totally up to you. Because if she's not comfortable and I ask her to do that, she will end up being unhappy. And that's the worst moment for me. So what's the point of me taking her wearing a sari when she's not happy? Then I totally lose the plot, because just she's not something, it's not a trophy that I can, carry with me wearing a sari. That, okay, I'm an Asian guy and my wife wears sari. But if she's not comfortable, but thankfully enough, she loves those clothing. So more than me, to be honest, I would rather that she wore something Western, but sometimes she ends up wearing a sari, and people love that.
I know. And often sometimes he goes in Western clothes, and then I'll be in the salwar kameez, or I'll wear the sari with
Yeah,
whatever it is.
everybody loves, like you're not accepting the culture, but like your what's that word I'm looking
Embrace.
for? Embrace.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you're embracing
I know,
the
it's
culture.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
No, that's the thing, Selena. There are a lot of things we talked about, interesting things, but understanding each other, self-respect, and also respecting the other person in terms of where they are coming from. And I would suggest take a time with yourself and ask yourself the questions. Definitely the problems, as Esther said, the problems you're facing. So if he's failing in communication, definitely he's not happy as well. So there are things probably you check. Okay, you're expecting, he works a lot, as you said. So you're expecting him to be in your events, which is not possible for him from his work point of view. So he's asking, why don't you put them during weekdays or certain days of the week when he's available? So
Yeah.
this is the
Which I
thing.
think I compromise, but
Oh,
I
you
feel also,
compromise. Okay.
yeah. So I feel like, well, for me, this event stuff I've been doing for a very long time, but I would ideally, in an ideal world, I would love to go with my partner. Not, it doesn't have to be all of them, but some of them you go to see
Yeah.
a great show,
Yeah.
you're like, or even a great, like holidays or something. You want to share that with your partner. So this is how I see it, but how he sees it is he's got obviously things to
So
do,
definitely you're
other
looking
things
at things. Your priorities are different as well. Everything
very
is.
different.
So in which case, I mean, there's no prescription that we can give as outsiders, I would say, between the two of you. But if you have the conversation with yourself,
Yeah.
I think you have answered most of the things yourself. Everything, to be honest. I mean, even if I keep myself quiet, you have all the answers yourself. Now it's a point when you have to take a decision. To be honest, once you take a decision to go back to someone who had left a message for us, he said, they say if you are brave enough to let someone or something go, you are certainly getting something better instead of them. One door closes, another opens.
True.
I'm not saying that you're going to end up getting someone better. That's not guaranteed. But
it could even be the same person who's now realized that he's about to lose you and changes his viewpoint completely, at which point you do get
it comes
something
back
better.
to you probably in a few years.
There's nothing that cannot be resolved with communication some way. And if the communication results in this was not right, then at least you've done it.
Because in that message, what I like is
Yeah.
one door closes, another opens. And this
Yeah.
is from my life experience. It's not about relationship,
No.
everything.
Yeah.
You take a leap of faith
Yeah.
and something will happen. There will always be a net under you.
Yeah.
You will make it. I believe in so long you don't die.
Well, and even if there's
There's
no
always
net,
a way.
you
Yeah.
can still
You
can
can.
still come back to life and keep
With
going.
one broken leg.
Do you guys believe in soulmates? Like, is there just
Oh, yeah.
one person for you, or is there many, many ones?
I don't think there's only the one person. I think that a person does best with another kind of person, and I believe that I have found that.
I have an answer for that.
Oh yeah.
Look, there are people you meet in your life, which I had done, she had done as well.
Yeah.
And it means that it's a journey of life. The people who are supposed to be with you, they are part of the journey. You see them, you meet them, you had good times, you made memories with them. But the soulmate is the only one who sees you through towards the end of the journey, and during the last hours of your life, they're with you as well if they're still alive. That's what I consider that probably that's my soulmate.
Yeah.
If that's what happens.
Yeah.
So far, like, we have everything so much where, I mean, when you find that you have peace in your life, there's nothing you're worried about. You don't have to be accountable to someone for doing something. You just do your things, whatever makes you happy. She just does the things, whatever makes her happy. That's where peace lies. And when you have peace in there,
Yeah.
and I feel that there's no bad moments, and you have to work towards the relationship constantly,
Yeah.
then you feel it's not right.
Yeah. But we also both experience, because we often say, "Oh my God, we met each other so late in life," right? What would have been if we had met 20 years ago? But we also both agreed that ourselves 20 years ago are not the same person as we are today. And we
Probably
would have,
we wouldn't see
we
the
would have-
worth in
and
each
we
other.
would have not seen the worth, and we would have not gone into this at all, because it's who we are today. At the right time, when we're both ready, it happened, and that was...
Because I can see her value, she can see my value
I
now.
wouldn't have been able to see that 20 years
exactly.
ago.
So we always used to think definitely it would be really great if we had met each other like 20 years before, and we started our teenage years with this, this love, and we carried it on for the next 40 years, 30 years.
But which is interesting since we were 5,000 miles apart. when
Yeah,
we were-
and how unlikely it is. I never even thought about that. There will be someone from Holland. I mean, that's her origin.
Yeah.
She was in this country for last 28 years.
Yeah.
But mainly she was born in Holland. So
Yeah, I never thought I would fall for an Asian guy.
for a Bangladeshi guy, right? So she had no idea of Bangladesh at all.
No, not at all. I thought
So
it was
that's the
actually.
thing.
I actually didn't even know where it was.
When you're ready, it happens. That's the thing. That's what
That's
I
what
believe.
people say. When you're not looking, that's when it happens.
Yeah, and
Exactly,
also, and
that's
the other,
true.
we also both had come to a point in our lives where we had really put in order in all of our affairs. Like I had no unhandled situations. I had no other. We were both just ready to start fresh. Like we had taken responsibility for past relationships, for past things like that. We were just good. Now we're ready, and it just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I hope, Selena, that helps. It's a lovely conversation.
It's a very nice
and
conversation.
again, thank
Yeah,
you
it's
for being
great.
fearless and for having this heartfelt conversation.
I never thought in a million years I'd call in and talk about this. I mean, but
No,
thank you
it looks like that
both.
you needed to talk to someone. So
And
even
I
if
think
you,
what you're saying is also going to really help a lot of other people, because you're definitely not the only one who has this
Exactly.
situation. So what you've discussed tonight, I hope it will help you sort out the communication.
in many ways, like
it's
some
gonna-
people who have it,
Yeah.
they will value it more. Like
Yeah.
I have it. Say, for example,
Yeah.
we have it, we would value it more. And some people who don't have it and who are in the same kind of path, I would say
Yeah.
it's a process.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world.
No,
There's something waiting for you. You're in that journey.
absolutely.
So they can join in the same journey with you, and they will understand, okay, what they need to work on. Probably some people are a little advanced than you are. They're probably already had taken certain decisions, certain steps. So they're waiting for the next step. And you're there, you have to go a further up on the road, then you'll find your solution.
Yeah.
But the main thing, I think, it starts from spending time with yourself.
Yeah.
Please try to spend time with yourself and try to understand your priorities. And if there's anything that you need to work on yourself, just work on that too. I think that's very important. I mean, we just talk from our experience,
Yeah, that's really
and that's
all.
what worked for us and worked for me.
But
I
do you
constantly.
think is it like not a masculine trait, but like I found on the dating field anyway that there are a lot of men who tend to like love bomb or like show that they're really really nice, but they actually turn into these toxic. They either have toxic masculinity or they.
I mean, this is the game of dating.
I think men and women are both guilty of that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
both guilty of that. I mean, this thing, we like to show the best sides of ours. And when you go
Yeah.
for the first or the second or the third date, until it's confirmed, because you don't want to lose the person.
I mean,
And
we were in the beginning, obviously. We didn't immediately go into all the personal things we had. The first few times we met was a similar thing, but there
oh
wasn't.
my God, I was so cautious.
You were. You were scared. You scared.
I would question her all the time. I said, why do you like me all the time? I mean, how can you like me straight away so much? I mean, it's not her fault. If she likes me, right? But I was like, no, it shouldn't
what
be.
is there not
We need
to
to take
like?
our time. Oh, thank you. I was saying, we need to take our time. Go slow. But
Yeah, they say things last when you're slow, but I feel it's kind of not self-pity, but having bad days. I feel really deeply troubled, deeply sad that I keep on meeting these men. I don't know what it is about me that's attractive.
that's why, Selena, that's why I keep on saying the same thing. I say that take your time, take a break to be with yourself for some time. I mean, because unless you are cured of these tendencies because you'll end up meeting the same kind of people over and over again because you haven't ended up working on yourself. To be honest, we end up meeting the wrong people in our life, so we have something unfinished inside that we haven't worked on. Because we always tend to be attracted towards that toxicity or whatever is not right for us because we haven't resolved something inside us. That's one of the things. This is the time when you have to sit down, take a break, spend time with yourself, get yourself ready for that person that you want or the kind of person that you want. As you're saying, when you're not looking, it means that when you're ready for it, but sometimes it can happen that when you're not ready, then even if you stop looking, it will never happen because you're not ready yet. But when you're ready, you attract that energy around you.
And
like the attraction, law of attraction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
And it might even be, that things completely change and you guys resolve it. And if you don't, hopefully resolve it amicably so you're both not losing out of it. And then finally, someone in your own industry that might have been there all along already that was just never...
But never let
you know?
anyone exploit you.
No,
That's one thing
no,
I
for
do.
sure.
Because people tend to be like, okay, let's be friends.
Yeah.
But they have other intentions. That's another thing as well.
We've both had different experiences, which is why
I'm speaking from experience.
Yes, and so
I
am
really
I.
don't approve of that.
So
When
am I,
you self-respect yourself
Yeah.
and you know that you never want to be someone's second option.
No.
You'd never.
True.
So someone is basically being friends, but they have someone, like they have someone, but
Probably.
they're being your friend.
Yeah, they're
and
like,
trying
okay, I
to-
don't want to lose it because this is my certain point, and if that doesn't work out, I can always come back. And probably most of the time, it happens both sides, men, women.
Yeah.
From my experience, I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not always talking about my own experience. My own experience means that my personal experience, I've seen it too.
Yeah.
And because I have friends who somehow find it safer to share with me things because I don't end up, blurting it out with other people. And I end up talking to them and at least be their listening ears. So all around the world, there are friends who would share with situations, and I try to help them. Just my help is not advice. It's more about getting to talk to themselves. That's the main thing. Because when you talk to yourself and you listen to yourself, and this conversation is very important, you need to hear out. And you are literally, trust me, your spirit and from inside is literally yelling. And you have to listen to yourself because we can hear that.
I can, yeah.
You should go back to the show because we had been here for quite some time. We've been talking.
This is good.
So you should.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is everyone just listening to this?
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
many people. I mean, probably they are listening with rapt attention. That's why they're quiet.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I had some messages. I'll read it out after we finish this conversation. But you are always welcome. Every Sunday, we are here from 6 to 8. So let's talk about the progress. How about that?
Yeah.
And share some fresh poetry with us because I love your poetry. We both love your poetry.
This doesn't mean that you have to call back next week and give us a full update on live.
Nothing, whatever you feel like.
We're just, if you're...
But
there is one thing. I started swimming today.
Yay, good.
Wow,
Good.
But it's with that person, so I don't know.
No.
No, you never know. That might be something that he loves to do now.
Yeah.
You have started sharing some of his favorite things probably.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Progress,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean all the time that you have to go separate ways.
No,
it
not
can
at all.
merge as well.
Yeah, it can.
It depends.
It can be resolved.
I don't know. It's very sad when you both know. Like, I know he's got good qualities. I have good qualities, but you're not right for each other.
Yeah.
It's very sad to come to this conclusion.
Yeah.
I think probably during that time, the idea of letting go is not only for yourself, for that person as well. Because if you love that person, and if you feel that person is not he's not in a happy place too.
Yeah, he could be right for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you let him go, he might find the right person
Yeah.
that he deserves to, right?
Yeah.
There would be someone who would match with him perfectly.
Yeah.
And there's someone waiting for you who would match with you perfectly.
Yeah.
So both, you can do this favor to yourself and to that person as well.
Yeah. But the
It's
most
hard.
important thing
It's
is
hard,
that
but-
the only people that are going to solve it is you guys. And all we give is experiences and as much information. But in the end of the day, it is going to be completely, utterly up to you. Both.
Because one thing I can share with you, just for the sake of the show, that we are not pretending or anything. This is what we are all day long. So, I wouldn't have even started a show if we are not like this, and I wouldn't even think. But the thing is, I thought this positive experience we are having, even to share that, we don't have to talk about each other, but you can see it, like how we...
You bounce off each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Really,
But seeing you guys and listening to you both, it gives me hope. And obviously there are, amazing relationships around me.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, you do feel sad because
Of course,
I have many sisters and everybody has somebody, but you just start to think, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I find the right person for me or someone who perfectly fits me?
And one last piece of advice, never listen to people who said there are lot of fish in the pond, more fish in the pond of things, however they would like to term it. Don't listen to that. It's such a wrong view, and that's where Tinder comes in, right? So that's
do you know, I think I'm one of those rare people I'm not on Tinder, but I'm on a couple of other ones, but I try to root out the people who aren't there for a waste of time. And I'm you can probably hear like I'm in it for like the seriousness, not just plenty of fish in the sea. But it's hard to find that in
but in that pond you won't find. I hardly found that from Tinder there had been really like those long-term soulmate relationships come out, because people who are going to, I'm not judging anyone, people who want to go and find people in that, like just based on
environment.
looks. You're not talking to anyone, reading some interest and everything. First of all, I would dismiss them on that ground that they're shallow, that what they're looking for is not that depth, to be honest. Because you're just swiping right and left thinking, okay, she doesn't look good. Okay, she's a bit taller, she's a bit thinner, she's a bit fatter, whatever that is. You are just dismissing people without knowing them properly, just within a second, right?
You're turned into a game, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
oh,
true.
there we go, have a match.
Yeah.
But they say it's easier for women. I think women get more like matches than men.
It's the same
on
thing when you're going on a weekend getting drunk in a pub. It's the same way, I feel, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'm quite old-fashioned, maybe born in the wrong...
No, you're perfect.
No, you're in the right era. You're totally fine.
Don't worry about
And it's
it.
also never too late. May I ask how old you are?
I'm 32.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, we met each other when I was 44. So
Yeah.
don't worry about a thing, girl.
You have
Oh, gosh.
12 more years.
Of loneliness. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
Never.
No.
We
not
weren't
at all.
lonely during that time,
we
to
were
be
not
honest.
lonely.
We probably weren't with the exact same person we'd like to be. We had
Yeah.
this dream idea of the vision,
Yeah.
but probably it wasn't there. But we not necessarily were alone, I think.
No,
right?
I think more importantly, we in the end really figured out what do we want, what are we looking for, and what will be compatible to me, and we found it. Well, in the events industry, because we were both in events, we were both in music, and we found each other in the way. Okay, so here's a good example. Just to say that it needs to take a long time to find the right person. My parents, they're both classical musicians. They were in an orchestra next to each other in a country they both did not grow up in. My father's from Holland, my mom's from Switzerland, and I don't even know where they were. I think it was France, and they were sitting next to each other. They played a few pieces together. They were bound to be in the same orchestra. They went home together that night, and they have not slept a night apart since that time, and they've been happily married for almost 50 years.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just love at first sight. So some people say that's just, crap. I don't know. I don't think that anyone has any way or any type. It's just when it happens, you know it's right. And when you know it's right, you go for it. And that's it. There's no other...
And also you cherish it.
Yeah, and you really, we
You
cherish
have to be
what
careful.
we have so
you
much.
have to you cherish it with all your affection, all your care.
Yeah.
Because you have to know that it doesn't happen all the time. And
No.
for some people, it never happens.
No.
So if it happened in your life, you need to take care of that. You need to value it.
Yeah, and we also really make a point to not let anyone into our relationship that could potentially become a problem or a negativity or a distraction or anything else like that, just so we can really concentrate on our relationship, and that's made it even stronger even. So but again, that's why I'm saying we're not a dating agency or advice of how it should be done, because what happened to us may not happen to you. It may be finding some other way, but the point was we were both ready. We knew what we wanted. We knew who we were. And so I would have been okay without a relationship or with a relationship, because I had found myself and so had you. So that was really the sanity of it all. So
Finding yourself, knowing who you
knowing
are.
who you are.
Knowing who you are.
That's the idea, to be honest, of the whole podcast, that
Yeah.
knowing ourselves.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, this is something, once you have known yourself properly, once you have learned, once you have learned to say no to things that's not good for you,
Yeah.
many things. We
Yeah,
make so many
with that,
compromises
actually.
throughout the day. And even the compromises you are making in your life, to be honest, and the other guy is making too.
Yeah.
So both of you, when you learn to say no as well to the things, you said, okay, there are definitely some good things, but are those enough to nourish my spirit? If it's not,
No.
then say no to that. Simple. I mean, you're just wasting time now. For both of you, I would say now I have to
100%. 100% we are.
Every day is a
And we both-
waste.
We both know it. But
High
yet-
five. You sound like you loved it, what I said. You're like 100%. Yeah. So
No, it's just the clinging on to something sounds really bad, like something dead. It's not really dead, but it's like...
No, I
But
get
John,
it.
The
I
thing
get
is
it.
also the thing is also you don't have to lose each other. Like I'm still very good friends with that person that I had a relationship with. I even went to his wedding. Like you don't have to lose each other. That's the other rubbish idea. Once it's over, it's over. No, it's not. You're just not in that kind of relationship anymore.
Yeah.
You still.
but I think it's probably good to take let's say there is a breakup, but it's good to take a break, isn't it? Because
it is, yeah.
because you can't see,
No.
let's say both people, they can't see each other,
No, it's
one another with someone new. There's
Yeah.
that.
Because you find someone new for the wrong reasons at the time.
Yeah.
You like, I want to fill in the gap, and it's like always on the rebound. You
Yeah.
find someone else.
No, I don't want to fill in the
completely-
gap. That's the
No.
thing. Like, of course, I've been, single and whatever, but I just thought like this is somebody, who shares my culture. I thought they might be
Yeah.
like
It
compatible.
doesn't have
and-
to be. Look at me and look at us.
No, Ershad, actually, I dated people from different cultures, and I've realized now through my life that I do want someone Bangladeshi. They don't have to be born here, born over there, or
I understand that. I can understand
somebody who, because I seriously have,
Who would appreciate dal bhat and chai and mach and
Balushai.
balushai,
it's just
rashmalai.
yeah, Rashgullah, Shatara. There's just something about it, and because I've dated people from Iran and whatever, America, different places, some people they just don't understand. They don't even understand sometimes when they're being racist. They don't understand, these things, and to me, I just thought, what, I want somebody, yeah.
But never say never.
No,
I would
because you
still
may,
say
you
that.
may not find that person in Bangladesh necessarily, and I can only speak for myself. Like the things that we had our common grounds were music, poetry, the artistic world. I'm a photographer, I'm a painter also, and obviously he has his huge musical background. I have a huge musical background, so we have a huge reality of that. And then we both like good food. He cooked with spices. The amount of spices I cooked with before I met him was salt, pepper, and cinnamon.
She learned to cook
And
Bangladeshi curries
I know now
now.
how to cook a Deshi style, so that's nice. But
I mean,
somehow
it's
worked.
about we are all humans.
Yeah.
End of the day, how I look at it.
Yeah.
If the person feels
Yeah.
that you're right and you feel he or he's right, then to be honest, it doesn't have to be from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. You never know. It could be an Egyptian guy or a Greek guy or a Spanish guy. You never know. But it has to be. Main thing is, as humans, you need to connect.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
It's just ideally, I would say someone Bengali.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, definitely. You should have
Yeah, I
certain
understand.
criteria. I mean,
Yeah.
you have in mind, but I
I
never.
do, and it's a struggle to actually, because this is a fairly recent thing of mine, but it's challenging to find someone who is Bengali and likes the arts and whatever, like the things that I'm interested in. But I don't know. I guess it's a journey, and
It is, yeah. It's
a
exciting
journey.
though. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
exciting, but
You still have a big life in front of you.
main thing, how I looked, my own evaluation is that I never wanted to dilute my emotion just going around and searching for, this companionship with the wrong people. I felt if I have certain qualities and the things I like, I have to keep it pure. And this is my thing. Just because I'm feeling lonely, I end up hooking up with the wrong people. What's the point?
100%. You know what you said about the diluting?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm currently making myself smaller and kind of potentially invisible, but I'm not invisible. I'm like this person bursting with passions and interests, and I have a voice, obviously.
Yeah.
But
definitely a
that
very
is
good
happening
voice.
right
Very
now.
nice
And
one, by the way.
it's,
Yeah.
huh?
No, you have a great voice. You have a great, I would say, radio voice.
Inner voice. No, I'm
but
talking in
also-
terms
but
of
no-
inner voice
But
as
I'm
well.
talking about literally just the way you express yourself is really, really good. You can make yourself really understood, and it's also reflecting in your poetry. Like I've
Thank
never
you so
met you
much.
before, but I feel like I've known you for 10 years now. It's really funny.
I feel like people always say I'm articulate, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Am I? But I don't know.
No,
Okay,
you
thank
are,
you. I mean,
absolutely.
that means a lot.
Yeah.
It's just you can see that I'm struggling with this, and hence phoning in on
No,
the
no,
show.
no,
Yeah.
perfect. I mean,
Taking
that's
the limelight.
That's what the platform is for. I always say that we want to make a community around some depth.
Yeah.
So we would be connected through some depth of the relationship. The bonding wouldn't be just something shallow that, okay, it's entertaining. We come here for an hour or just half an hour spend there, listen to some music and just, some laugh and talks and gone and forgotten. But the thing is that if it helps someone, you are helping so many people you don't know,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's just the platform, the Knowing Who You Are, we created. So, because every Monday, the interview that comes out that I have with life coaches, people all around the world, the new one that's coming tonight at midnight, he's a Danish coach. So he's talking about the things I spoke to him about, his fears, his problems, his struggles in life, and how he overcame and how he helps people and all these things. Like I have someone there already, he commented from YouTube twice, Calisthenics Crid. So he's a 21-year-old person I've already interviewed on my podcast. He's a coach, a self-made coach, calisthenics. You should check that out. It's really a body contortion, and really you need to have such physical fitness to do that. And he's also a coach, a personal coach in a very popular gym in Kuwait. So this Bangladeshi guy, he grew up there.
Went to Kuwait.
And he did it all by himself. He started at the age of 16 and he's 21 now. But how he made it happen for himself, he's opening his own gym now in Kuwait.
Yeah.
So this guy, I interviewed him, and you should listen to that as well, probably knowing who you are. So he said, hi, how are you guys? So we couldn't because we are so much into the conversation. I didn't. Yeah, he's been listening in.
That's great.
So the thing is that how many people he helped, how many people you are helping through your conversation.
Yeah.
So it's not that you are just doing it for your own sake. And I believe when you are a giver, you always have a place among people in the community or everywhere. Because people would always love you. And this is how you are never alone. So we are never alone because there are always someone. There would be people who won't like you. There will be people who would criticize you. Don't think about them. Just think about the people who love you. Say, for example, you had given your precious time to us talking about this. We appreciate that. So it means that we connected somehow, both of us, with you. And that's such a precious thing. So by the time we finish today, we'll be totally, cloud nine.
We'll be talking about you for the next hour.
But not in a negative way.
No, in a good way.
It's how many positive things you spread out among people, and many people would
it's hard to say, obviously, what to, when you're calling in is what to talk about and what not to talk about.
Yeah.
But I tried to do the best I can.
Yeah.
No, it's just being yourself. That's the main thing we like to be, and we are being ourselves.
Yeah.
No pretense, nothing, and you being yourself. That's all. It counts. That's what knowing who you are. When you know yourself properly, you are totally free from any awareness that what people are thinking of you, the spotlight effect, which this calisthenics Crid, this guy he had talked about. His story was when he would go out with a friend of his in Kuwait. He's a Bangladeshi guy as well. He's like, why are other people looking at me? He said, man, you know what? You have spotlight effect. So you think that all the spotlight is on you while no one is bothered about you. They are minding themselves while they're busy thinking what we are thinking about them.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And you totally overcame those fears and just being yourself. And that's what we are trying to be.
Yeah.
We don't have to try to be honest. I just love to be myself because I love myself. I told you.
I can read something very short.
Please, please.
And then we can say goodbye.
Oh, sure.
After. Okay, this is a little bit of a breakup thing, but everyone can relate, I'm sure. Okay, so written, I don't know, last year maybe. The vast ripples of water play out before me, while Isle Canaries is the background to the most perfect of evenings. In the darkness, everything is shadowed and simultaneously etched out in my eyesight. All the melodies are creating beauty beyond description, while ghosts of he are gossamer against the barely there breeze. I look to the spots we once were, haunting and impossibly lovely.
Wow. You always create such images, and I was thinking about the place,
I know, I'm gone.
I think I wrote this during lockdown, and like a walk with my mom and just listening to this song. It's a beautiful song by totally enormous, gigantic dinosaurs. But if you just put in ISLE, CANARIAS, Isle Canaries.
Yeah, send the link, please, on the comment for us so we can have a listen and people can listen to it too. So
great.
That's really amazing, Selena. Thank you. And we hope to hear from you in any way possible you like. At least come with your new poetries. I would love to hear.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this call. I can't believe I've been talking to you both for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. No, but it's been really useful. And I hope it's been of help to you, but it will definitely be of help to other
very
people.
Powerful.
Very, very much. Yeah, agreed. Thank you for calling in and overcoming that fear.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And I feel like our souls, like us three, our souls connected,
Yes, I agree.
We are.
Okay.
Always. That's
Thank
what
you
we
very
are all
much,
about.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Selena.
Bye.
So that was Selena from London, an
Amazing.
amazing caller. And what she had shared with us, it was such a fearless step that she had taken, and overcoming that fear of being self-aware and sharing what you are going through. Probably many people, it made you question, people who are listening. Many of us probably going through the same kind of problem, and we are trying to find that answer through that conversation. If you found that answer, probably it would help you. So we had a lot of people. I see all the names. I've already read Babu Bablu's comment. Probably,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's listening or he left already.
Yeah.
Because we had such a long conversation. I would like you to know, while the conversation was going, we were not ignoring you. Because even this conversation, even if it's like a 2 hour, 1.5 hour conversation, that's for all of us.
Yeah.
Because we are listening
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
We're learning from each other. Even I learn, she learns from all of us. And we share the knowledge and the wisdom.
Yeah.
So also the experiences, that's how the wisdom is built.
Yeah.
Because wisdom comes from your experience, definitely.
Yeah.
And your failures and the things you have experienced in life. Oh, Babu Bablu is one of those people who's still there. So, Babu Bablu, amazing. And you had a lovely advice,
Yeah, that
I would
was
say,
very
a lovely
nice.
comment.
Yeah, so I'll read it again.
thanks
It
for
says,
that.
they say if you are brave enough to let someone or something go, you are certainly getting something better instead of them. One door closes, another opens. And I think we've experienced things like that. I think a lot of people have. That's very
not
poignant,
relationship.
very correct.
I mean, someone who's scared of leaving his job, the one that's weighing him down,
Yeah.
someone not making him totally unhappy. But the thing is, he's scared to leave it because it pays his bills.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world.
No.
You leave that, and then you come out and try something new.
Yeah.
You might end up being an entrepreneur. You might become self-employed. You never know. You might what qualities you have and what other possibilities or the doors you would open. So that's really true, and I
Yeah.
agree with that. And Babu Bablu is really very sweet of him. His
His
hand,
little hand. Hello.
raised his hands. I'm here. So yeah,
We
it's-
know you are there.
Yeah. So Babu Bablu, we still have a little bit of time before we leave. So if you want to give us a quick call and share with us what you felt about today's conversation, and also for Selena, from your own experience, if you want to share something, you're always welcome to do that, and we would encourage you to do that. And the number is there. You're in London, we know. You can run, but you can't hide. But so you can give us a call and we can have a chat. So let's do that if you want. Or there's no confirmation. No one is saying.
No one's here. We're getting lots of love hearts and wavy things and other things.
I mean, that's the idea. And as I was saying, to probably is if Babu Bablu is not confirming he can call or not, or anyone else, if no one has anything else no one else has anything else to add to that conversation. I was totally getting wrapped up in my own conversation. Anyway, so that's the purpose of trying to speak so quickly. I mean, I can't help it. It's from my TV days,
It's
to be
okay,
honest.
It's all right. You're
'Cause,
forgiven.
Yeah. So people who are joining in and people who have joined and added value to this conversation,
Thank you very
and
much.
every day, every week, basically, when you add those amazing experiences and the advices and the struggles and your solutions for yourself, which helps other people as well if they can try. So all the answers are lying inside, basically. We just have to, it's within. So we have to dive within and just find those goals. I think it's just treasure hunting within yourself.
Yeah.
Just go deep down inside and bring out those things. But you need to have those conversations, spending time with yourself. That's very important. So sometimes people are not aware of it. We forget to do that. That's what knowing who you are is all about, the live stream. You come here, we had this conversation with Selena nearly an hour.
Yeah.
How
It was over an
amazing
hour.
was
It amazing.
that? And
it's great.
we came out with a lot of the things.
Yeah.
Every time I repeat those things, I become aware of these things myself. So that's a beautiful side of this whole live stream.
Yeah.
What's a valuable aspect of the show for you?
I think it's exactly the same. Because most importantly, it isn't so much, in the first part I was a little bit concerned because I don't want her to feel that she's being forced to speak about a relationship because that other person also might hear the whole thing. But the truth is she was comfortable with that. And more importantly, I think that everyone is going to hear that there's a lot of
She left a
people
message in the
who have
meantime
that
since we're
same
talking
thing.
about her. As I said, Selena, we'll be talking about you for the next hour or so, but in a positive way. Don't worry about it.
That's
No
very
criticize,
sweet.
no judgment.
Aw, This is
So
lovely.
you are two of the loveliest, kindest people I've met. Esther, I hope we can meet in person one day. That's so sweet.
That's really
Thank
nice.
you.
We will meet in person one day.
We will
for
meet
sure.
in person, definitely.
And then Sarah also did message in earlier on saying she was here. She'd wanted to say hello. So just hello, Sarah, for being with us every week.
Hello,
Thank you
Sarah.
very
Hello,
much.
Babu Bablu. Hello,
Yeah.
Calisthenics Creed.
Yeah.
Well, who is
What?
Tosif.
Tosif. Okay, good.
And Mohammad Rizwanur Rahman, the
Yeah.
artist from
Amina
Dhaka.
also. Thank you for watching. Really
Amina
nice.
Art Ansari.
Yeah, really
So
nice.
she's an artist, amazing
Yeah,
artist.
wonderful.
So we have all those people who join, and I
Yeah.
saw Jesper, probably one of the life coaches, the
Yeah.
Danish life coach I was talking about, whose video is coming out
Yeah,
tonight
tomorrow.
at midnight.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will. He was there as well. So thanks to all of you who joined us and joined in this live conversation, and send out all the love and left the comments and just shared your valuable time with us, because that's one of the most valuable thing we can do.
one of the best
sharing
gifts. Yeah.
one of the best gifts we can share with someone. It's not money, your property or anything. It's your life, because that's the only thing you have in that's limited edition. So
Yeah. That's good. Oh, that's a great tagline.
Yeah.
Your life is a limited edition.
Exactly.
So true. Hashtag limited edition. Your
yeah, I
life.
think we have to do that today. So on that, I'll definitely do the tagline on YouTube or everywhere, a limited edition. So
Oh, boy.
everyone who had joined, all the viewers and listeners of the Sunday live stream of Knowing Who You Are podcast,
Yeah.
we thank you all. And on that note, we would slowly get ready to sign off.
And say good night.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.